All right, Keyshawn Davis is back, 11-0 lightweight contender, headlining on Friday in his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia. And Keyshawn, I recall every time I work a fight where a guy's fighting his hometown, afterwards he says, oh man, that sucked, right? Whether it's Regis Prograis, Devin Haney, Subriel Matias did in Puerto Rico recently. Like, how are you handling the hometown part of the headlining experience?
Shit, I feel like I'm handling it pretty good. Like I'm at the crib. Like, I done fought overseas before. You know what I'm saying? Russia, Japan, like even in America, like Oklahoma, Vegas, like you name it. Like me fighting at the crib, it's just comfortable. I'm good. So, but at the same time, this is my first main event, so I can't really be like it sucked because it's my first time doing both at the same time. So it's just a unique situation.
You know what I thought was awesome was how the tickets moved really quick right off the bat. Like, that's always a great sign for a young fighter because not a lot of young fighters have that home base. Like, Bud Crawford, has Omaha. He'll fight in New York, he'll fight in LA, but he
Yeah.
always has Omaha. But this is going to be a 7-figure gate that comes out of your fight. How does that feel?
Uh, that's actually a blessing, man. I give all glory to God, man. Honestly, man. People can't say anything, but I'm not a world champion yet, But other than that, like if you're a world champion, you still gotta be able to sell. So we know that Keyshawn Davis sells. So a lot of these, excuses with world champions saying that, he's not this, he's not that. They can't say that no more. Keyshawn Davis sells. So if you want to fight me, let's fight.
Yeah, it definitely helps you when you look ahead to make other fights. But you got to get through this fight first. And like I called this guy's fight, Lamos, against Richardson Hitchens. He is a handful. Like, he is physical, aggressive. I thought he beat Hitchens. I don't know how you scored that fight watching it back, but I mean, this guy is a lot. Like, how do you prepare to fight a guy like him?
I'm with the best team in boxing, BNB. You know what I'm saying? Training alongside Terrence Crawford, Bomac, my coaches, Bomac, Coach Rendell, Coach Shawu, Coach Red. Like we can prepare for anything. They can transform a fighter into a better fighter, and that's what they doing to me. We not skipping steps. We take a fight by fight. But I feel like I'm at a point where I can fight anybody now, and Lemos is just another fighter that I gotta get past. And ever since that I've been pro, people been saying, "Oh, it's a step up fight." Literally every single fight, people been saying it's a step up fight. So just keep calling it a step up fight. I'm gonna keep showing y'all how great I am.
What did you think of the Hitchens fight?
It was a tough fight for Richard Hinches. If you really want to be all the way honest, I think the weight got to Africa. I think
Mm.
the weight got to Richard Hitchens. Like he wasn't all the way himself that night. And if you want me honest again, for Africa not being himself that night and Lemos still having a tough fight with a guy that's not all the way himself, you're in trouble when you fight me, sir. People is looking at that fight like, oh, Keyshawn is this, Keyshawn is that. But when at the end of the day, when me and Africa used to spar back in the day, I used to put hands on Africa when I was still amateur. Like literally, he's not gonna tell y'all that, but I never lie to y'all. I used to put hands on Africa. Shakur used to hype him up in the corner, try to get him to come back at me. I'm just tougher than Africa. So for Limos to have a tough fight with a guy that, you know, I used to beat up, oh, Limos in trouble.
I do think the rehydration clause that the IBF makes you go through hurt Hitchens for sure. Like he struggled with that then. He's probably going to struggle with that in his next fight he's got coming up against Liam Paro. That's hard for guys. Like, would you ever like go that route? Like, I don't know what your plan is as far as world title opportunities, but how do you feel about rehydration clause and fighting for these IBF titles?
I mean, if you really want to be honest, I feel like all these titles is watered down. IBF, rehydration clause, all that shit is just bullshit to me. Excuse my language. But if you just want to talk about the hot rehydration clause in Virginia, we got the same thing. They just
Mm.
text us yesterday. If we come more than 10 pounds over, the next day after weigh-ins, our fight is canceled. So y'all about to see how I'm gonna deal with it. Y'all gonna see.
Wow. Did you know that before yesterday?
I knew that when I signed with Top Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That
they we
fighting in
always
Virginia would have these. Yeah.
yeah, because they we already had in mind that we was gonna come back home eventually. So Carl put that on my radar back then, but
Mm-hmm.
even coming into camp, he reminded us.
Mm-hmm. The fighting a guy like Lemos, the guys like him, like Brian Castano, like they're always in your face, right? Like, what's the key for you when you're fighting a guy like that?
Quick question for you. You watched my last fight?
I did.
Okay, so I've been through that already, right? But this is
Mm-hmm.
just a different guy. But at the end of the day, he's gonna be in my face and he's gonna try to do all that gritty stuff. I'm gonna do it back to him. People be forgetting that when I got a tough fighter in front of me, they be forgetting that who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At this point, the narrative, I feel like I'm gonna change the narrative at this fight, after this fight. But you can't forget who the businessman is. You can't forget why I'm here at 11-0. It's just undeniable. After I win, I'm gonna give all the God the glory because that's who really deserve it.
It also, a guy like him also presents opportunities, right? Like if he's going to be in your face and he's going to be hittable, a guy like you who does have power, there's going to be opportunities to do something spectacular.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, every time I fight, it's an amazing performance. It's very entertaining. Right or wrong, right or wrong.
I agree. I
You
agree.
think I'm an entertaining fighter?
I do.
All right, cool. So Friday, just know that it's gonna be a very entertaining fight, whether I knock this guy out or it goes 10 rounds. Every single round is gonna be very entertaining, and that's what people pay to see. That's the reason why I sell 10,000 tickets for my first main event
Mm-hmm.
because people pay to see entertainment, and that's who I am.
Then I think that you should fight Floyd Schofield next. And the two of you can quit arguing about who gets Tank after that.
I'm not chasing after Tank. Tank doing his own little things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going for like the big fights or a world title, which I'm gonna be mandatory for WBO. But I mean, honestly, like Floyd Schofield, not a big draw. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting in an arena. He fighting in a theater. You know what I'm saying? It's just a difference. It's a big difference in levels and a big difference in sales. And I'm that draw that people is starting to want to see fight.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right about that. You are fighting in front of 10,000 plus. There was a relatively small crowd in Vegas for Schofield's last fight. I mean, although down the line, I mean, if you both you guys are in the same weight class, I would imagine. I mean, he's number 2 right now for one of the belts. You're gonna, like you said, get in that Denys Berinchyk line right there, be up at the front of it. Like that's a fight you could imagine down the line happening.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna just be straight blunt. I watched a little bit of his fight today when I was getting my haircut. Just like, I'm gonna just watch while I'm getting my haircut type of thing. And I think somebody's gonna beat him before I even get to him. And also, if you want me to be really honest, if he can't beat Abdullah Mace. Abdullah Mace will beat the hell out of
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Schofield. I don't think he could beat Abdullah right now. You know what I'm saying? And Abdullah's still working his way up to that, but I don't think he could beat Abdullah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that we will be able to fight because he's just gonna lose before he gets to me, if you want my honest opinion. And he also only ranked in the WBA. He not ranked nowhere high in none of the other sanctioning bodies. The sanctioning bodies is just so like unorthodox. You
They
can
are.
never guess. You can never guess that.
No, you're right. He's 2 in the WBA. He'll probably be number 1 if Zepeda fights Shakur, and Zepeda will drop out of those rankings. But he is like I think 13th in another one. That's pretty much it. Like there really isn't a rhyme or reason for how some of these rankings are made by sanctioning bodies.
And
It's
then
got to be frustrating for the
and then it's
fighter.
weird. It's weird because in the WBA I'm not even ranked. So how I'm ranked in 3 sanctioning bodies, but not like is weird. Boxing is weird.
Well, I mean, look at some of these IBF mandatories, man. Like some of these guys you've never heard of. William Skull is a world champion now because he worked the IBF system. We've got the day after you. I'll be in Philadelphia where Boots is stuck fighting Karen Chukadzian again. Like, what are we doing? Like, why?
Right.
This is a problem in boxing.
Right. And I'm the fighter. Honestly, I just want to bring life back into the sport. And I can say that, shouts out to Tank. Like he brings life into the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Garcia brings life into the sport. Canelo brings life into the sport. Terrence Crawford bring life into the sport. I want to be another one of the fighters that bring life into the sport. Starting with my first main event, selling 10,000 tickets.
Yeah, it's incredible. Last thing for you is, you mentioned that WBO title. Baranchyk has got it. There were rumors for a while, not even rumors, like it was a done deal. He was going to fight Mark Chamberlain before Chamberlain got beat on one of those cards. Now he's out there without an opponent. Like, is that kind of what you're being told? Like, hey, you win this fight, that Baranchyk fight is right there for you.
Yeah, they told me that I was gonna be a mandatory for the WBO after this fight. But before Top Rank told me, honestly, Denys Berinchyk told me in my DMs. Denys Berinchyk said, "Yeah, I was supposed to fight Mark Chamberlain, but he lost. So now I don't have a fight." I said, "Well, champ, what's your next move? What you want to do?" He said, "Whatever makes me the most money." I said, champ, just keep me in mind because we gonna make a lot of money." He said, "All you gotta do," he told me, he said, "All you gotta do is go out there and win." He said, "Don't lose." I said, "Don't worry about that." So he kind of already told me like he about to fight me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. No, that's a good fight. No question about it. First up, Gustavos Lemos. Congratulations on the main event and selling that many tickets, man. That really is awesome because sometimes it takes guys years to sell out in their hometown. Now that you're able to do a 7-figure gate in your backyard, that's going to open so many doors for you over the next few years. So congrats on that, and good luck on Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Chris.